Yeah. Last live videos, that's what. But in that's the comment section. Next comment section.
You gotta click on it to bring it up.
Just a moment.
You're the only one in there now, mate. So.
Wait for Penny English. Just trying to put English out. That's like they're trying to be really cool with Penny. Get Craig to do it.
Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for joining me. We'll just give everybody a couple of minutes to get in here. We've got, looks like 10 people so far, 11 people. That's very good. Hopefully it won't take long for everyone to join. I know we've had a couple of people not quite sure how to join, so we'll just give them a chance to connect in. Maybe 2 minutes. Okay. So just before we get into the actual stock taking, I just want to point out that a lot of this stuff that I'm going to cover today is actually in your PosBrowser help section in some nice document forms. So if you need to refer to anything later on, the documentation is quite a good place to start. So from the welcome screen here, if we click on help and then help topics, and we expand here, there's a stock taking section. Now this one here is called stock taking is the best place to start. So we click on that and we click on stock taking over here. You'll see we've got a full stock taking document here, which even goes through things like stock taking by location, which is one thing I will touch on today. That's very, very, very useful for stock taking, one, while your shop is trading, and two, for splitting the stock take up into manageable sections. So yeah, it's a very good document, quite comprehensive. So yeah, that's always there and available. If you're having trouble accessing that, please call support. You may need Adobe Reader or another PDF reader installed on your computer to bring this up. Okay, well let's get on with it then. So stock taking in PosBrowser. As I just said, there's two main methods people subscribe to. One is the whole shop at once approach, which is your 30th of June, oh crap, I need to do a stock take approach. And then there's the location stock take approach, which is where you split your shop into manageable locations and stock take them. We recommend at least twice throughout the year. So I try to say to people, a good way of doing it is splitting your shop into 12 manageable sections, and then try and do one section every second Sunday throughout the year. Now, a section might be your drinks fridge, so it might only take 20 minutes to stock take it on a Sunday afternoon or something, so you can split it into nice manageable sections. It works really, really well. And as of after the first time you've stock taked each section, it's a really good theft check for you as well, because POS will show you what it expected you to count versus what you actually did count. So the second time you count a section, you'll be able to see that variance and work out what the shrinkage is in that section, and then try and identify why the shrinkage is there. And if it's theft, then at least you know where to look. It's one of those things that people overlook a lot of the time, but it's a real advantage of doing rolling stock takes. Okay, so to start off with, we go into our menu on the side here, and we go into stock systems and stock take. Okay, now POS will show you here, these ones in red are ones that are already finalized. So at any time, these finalized ones, I can go back into and run the report to view the report if I want to. So, some of them are quite old here, but I could go back to the one I did in 2009, go to finalize and hit summary. And there's my summary report of that stock take. I'll explain this report a little bit more as well once we do an actual stock take. So I've got two drinks here that I'm going to use as an example as a stock take. So yeah, I didn't want to bore you with scanning hundreds of items in an actual shop. So we go back to the stock take tab here. To create a new stock take, we simply click new at the bottom here. And we pick the staff member that's doing the stock take. Then we pick the shop that the stock take is actually happening in, if you've got more than one shop. And these restrictions here are designed so that you can do it by section. But we're going to concentrate on this location for the sectional stock take. I think it's more important because you can have a physical location in the shop with products from multiple sections or multiple suppliers. So the location, I think, is the most relevant for most people. So I'm going to do a location stock take on my drinks. So I'm just going to call the location drinks. And I'm going to hit save. Now that just creates the new stock take. And you can see it's highlighted here at the bottom of my list. If I just move off it, you'll see it's actually in black writing, not red, which denotes that it's not finalized yet. So now I can click on it to highlight it and go across to stock take detail. Now, check stock movement, I always tick that, it's important. What that will do is if your shop is trading, POS will keep checking if anything is sold that you've stock taked. So it will be able to adjust for it at the end of the stock take when you finalize it. So it's very important if you are doing the stock take while the shop is trading. And we can just hit start. So Now to scan the items in, there's two methods here. You can see I've got my cursor flashing in the quantity box at the moment. So I can put in here, I've got 10 of, and then press tab, and then I can scan the item. So I've got 10 of, there we go. So that works quite well. Instead of having to press tab or click between boxes, you can also disable this quantity entry box and use the asterisk or the star key on your keyboard. So this other one I'm going to say I've got 7 of, so I'll just go 7 and then the asterisk key, and you'll see it automatically puts the 7 in the quantity box there for me. So that seems to be the preferred method, but they're both available. And you can see here as I'm counting, as I'm scanning, the items are coming up in the top here, giving me some useful information about the items. So I've counted 10 of this one here, the Dare Double Espresso, but I can see I've actually got 7 on hand at the moment. So there's a disparity there. I'm making this up obviously, but in a real shop, that would be a discrepancy that you could look into. And I've counted 7 of the Fused Lemon Teas, and there's actually 21 on hand. So you can continue doing this for all of the products in that location. And I also might mention too, you can do this on as many terminals at once as possible. So you can have 2 cash registers with the stock take document loaded and 2 staff members counting at the same time. That's not a problem. So all they would have to do is go into stock take, and instead of clicking new, they just highlight the stock take they want to participate in and go to stock take detail and hit start. So you can always do that to make it quicker. But that's all we're going to do for this section at the moment. So, assuming I've finished that stock take, all I need to do now is go across to stock take finalize. And an important thing to tick here is this move items to new location. So what that will do is those items that I've counted will actually move them into the drinks location in POS if they weren't already there. So it's a really good way to set up locations as well if you've never done that, is doing a stock take. So you're not only counting the stock and getting the stock level right, but you're also creating meaningful locations throughout your shop. Now the location I'll show you in the cash register later, it comes up and on the cash register screen to show you when you do a search on an item, so it helps staff know where products are if someone asks for it at the counter, which is a really handy feature. Now this includes non-scanned items. This is a very important one too. It will zero out anything you haven't counted that's relevant to that stock take. So for example, if I had not put the drinks restriction here in and left it all open as a full shop stock take, when I finalized it, if I tick this include non-scanned items, it will zero out the quantity of every other product in the shop. So you want to make sure you want to do that before you finalize. In this case here, because we've restricted it to the location drinks, it will only zero out other products that are in this location called drinks, which is a good thing in theory, because you've just done a stock take on your drinks fridge or your drinks section. If you haven't counted any of them, in theory there's none there, so they should be 0. Okay, so I'm just going to hit close stock take now. And that's done, and it's telling me there are no exceptions, so that's good. So I haven't scanned anything in that it didn't expect to be in that location or anything like that. I can now print this summary report. I'll just zoom in a little bit. There we go. Hopefully everyone can see this. So we can see here, let's look at this Dare Double Espresso one, for example. Counted 10 and it adjusted 10, which is that's what it's put into POS. It expected 7, and here's your variance of 3. So if this was the second or subsequent time I'm counting these items, this variance becomes very meaningful, because it's saying to me there's 3, well in this case there's 3 more than what there was, what it expected. So maybe somebody's not scanning them when they're selling them, or maybe a staff member's sneaking one for a drink here or there. Who knows? And the one below it, the Fuse iced tea, of course, there's a discrepancy of -14, so there's 14 missing that should be there. Now it also gives you your individual cost prices over here, and a total cost, which is obviously wrong in this case, but it'll give you a total cost including GST and an in-store cost excluding GST. So yeah, it's quite handy when you're doing that end of year valuation, as long as your cost prices are right in PosBrowser. Now, doing a stock take by section is a very good way of finding that out and identifying items that have a zero cost or that have the wrong cost. And doing it by location gives you a manageable list to work on, instead of this huge report of all the products in the shop. So yeah, that's a really good report there that I can now run whenever I've done it. Now, what a lot of people do the first time they're setting up the locational stock takes is set all of the products in PosBrowser to a dummy location called XXXX or something like that. I won't actually do it, but if we then bulk edit the stock and set everything in the shop to that 4X location, then as you're doing your locational stock takes and you put in drinks and you put in stationery and you put in tobacco and you put in lollies and magazines, as you go around the whole shop, once you've finished everything, the idea is anything left in that 4X location can be deleted because it's products you don't have in your shop. So that's a very good way of cleaning up your stock system. If you want to do it that way, just give us a call on the help desk and we'll go through how to do the stock editing and move everything to the right to that XXXX location. Yeah, that way you can then move everything out of that location as you do the stock take, and yeah, you end up with a lot cleaner stock system at the end of it. Now, doing stock takes as well opens up the reporting for valuations. So under cash register and register reports, we have about stock valuation section there. There it is. Now in here, we can run a stock valuation by location, to section, family, class, by supplier. So I might just do it by location and just do, because I know drinks is right. So I might have to reload that because I had it already loaded before we created drinks. Okay, so stock valuation by location, and I'm just going to put in here drinks, and here's his valuation as of now. Or you can normally do dates in the past as well. So, you know, if you forget to do a stock take on a location at 30th of June, you can come back in here and give it another, you know, run close to it. But I'll just do as of now and hit view report. So I should only have those two items come up on this report. We just double click POS Demo News Agency, the drinks to section, and there we are. So there's our two items, the total cost price, everything you need to know about those items. So yeah, that's quite a good report to be able to run as well. And like I said, you can run this at any time to get a snapshot valuation of a department, of the whole shop, of a location, whatever suits. So you open up a lot of valuable reporting once you've got accurate stock control with the rolling stock takes, or even in a whole shop stock take. Now we do also have a section for in the stock taking for importing and exporting. So there are stock takers out there that can go around your shop with a PDA or a PDT and scan all the items and provide a file that we can load into PosBrowser to update your stock in the system. So if you want to do it that way, it's just important to ask if your stock taker if they work with POS Solutions in PosBrowser, and a lot do. So you should be able to find one that does that very well for you, and that saves you doing the work. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The only difference, if you wanted to do a whole shop stock take, I think I covered it before, was when you click New, don't put any restrictions in. So just pick your staff member and the shop and hit Save. And that will create an open stock take that will affect the whole shop. So it's a good one if you're going to close and do it after hours or something like that. Or you could do it during the day as well. Just make sure you tick that track stock movement. When we go into here, check stock movement. If that's ticked, then you can do the whole shop stock take during trading hours, and it will adjust for anything that you sell. Just important to remember when you finalize it that this include non-scanned items will zero out anything you haven't scanned in the whole shop. So, which is what you really want to do if you have done a full shop stock take. It's just important to remember that if you realise later on that you've missed a section and you come in and create a new stock take and just scan that one section in to count it, you don't want to tick this option. Otherwise, it'll zero all your good work out. Yeah, so that's pretty much stock taking. There are some more advanced stock taking, like stock taking with a PDA, which I won't cover today because I haven't got a PDA in front of me mainly, and you can't see the PDA screen from a Facebook Live video. But the PDAs are a very handy device. You'll see a lot of couriers with them if you haven't got one. They're a one-handed handheld scanner computer that talks live to PosBrowser, so you can effectively start a new stock take on a location or the whole shop and go around the shop with the wireless PDA, and as you're scanning and counting, it's counting live into a stock take here in PosBrowser. So they're very handy too. And also what a lot of people are doing these days too, I'll just touch on it, is investing in a reasonably priced Windows tablet PC, such as a Microsoft Surface Go or a Lenovo tablet that's running Windows 10, and a USB scanner like a gun scanner. And we can install PosBrowser on the tablet, and it becomes a wireless stock taking terminal with the full PosBrowser software on it. So you can get the benefit of having a portable stock taking terminal, but it can also be a portable cash register if you have a stall at the front of your shop, or it could be a stock receive terminal that someone can use out the back to receive stock in, or an automatic ordering terminal as well. So it's very, very versatile. If you wanted to look into that, as long as the tablet has 8 gigabytes of RAM and Windows 10. The only other thing I would recommend looking for is make sure it's got a full-size USB port so that you can plug a scanner into it. But there are plenty of options out there, starting at a few $100s, ranging to a couple of $1,000s. So depending on what you want to spend and what you want to do with it, there's plenty out there that will work in different price ranges. And they're quite handy to have. You can take it home and use it as a for your email and all that sort of stuff as well, and bring it into the shop when you need to do a stock take. So you can get some really good use out of it. We'll hang around in the video for a while, just in case you have any questions or anything like that. Of course, our support staff are always more than happy to help you start a stock take, select the right options, get it going for you. Also with help finalising. If you're not sure or you're worried about clicking that close stock take button, let us know and we'll step you through it. We'll make sure you've done everything right. But we have tried to make it pretty simple to do a stock take in PosBrowser, and I think it's quite a good process. So yeah, any questions, feel free to comment, and thank you all for viewing. We really enjoy doing these webinars, so Again, like I say on all of them, if any of you have any ideas on what you would like to see in a webinar, please let me know. I'm more than happy to take on board suggestions, and I'm trying to do one a week or one a fortnight at the very least. So I'll quickly run out of ideas and be relying on ideas from you guys. Okay, well, thanks again, and I'll stop sharing my screen now, but we'll leave the comments open for now for another 5 minutes or so. Thanks, everybody.